Hello everyone, I'm Claire, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to the newest Holo Taco release, their Off the Deep End collection. If you've seen my videos reacting to the other Holo Taco collections this year, or the recent Mooncat and Cadillacquer collections, then you know what we're doing here. I'm not someone who gets PR from brands, and I don't buy every new collection right away, or at all. With Holo Taco, unless it's limited edition, I'll probably just wait and order my favorites when there's a sale. And that means I can't always do a swatch and review like some other creators, but I still want to be able to talk about new releases. So I like to go through each of the polishes, discuss how I feel about them, if they're going on my wish list, that kind of thing. I'll also talk about the collection as a whole, the inspiration behind it, the general vibes, all of that. So let's get into it. Holo Taco is a boutique nail polish brand based in the US and founded by Christine from the Simply Nailogical YouTube channel. Their Off the Deep End collection features 6 new polishes in a jelly flaky formula, and 4 of them also have reflective glitter. This is a new formula for Holo Taco. They have their iridescent flake toppers, and a couple of full coverage polishes with iridescent flakes, but these new ones have much bigger flakes, and they're the first to also include reflective glitter. I'm really excited to see this finish from Holo Taco since I have a couple of flaky plus reflective glitter polishes from other brands that I really enjoy. This collection is ocean themed, so the color palette does lean towards blues and aquas, but there's still a lot of brightness and other colors to represent sea creatures and bioluminescence and things like that. But I'll discuss the theme more a little bit later. For now, let's talk about the polishes. First up is Wait a Minute. This one has an aqua base, and it's the only one that just has iridescent flakes and no other sparkly elements. The main colors that I'm seeing from the flakes are teal and green and yellow. They're a bit more warm toned compared to the cooler base color. I almost feel like the flakes give this polish a slight prugly feel, prugly meaning both pretty and ugly. It doesn't look like pure sparkling water, it looks like there's seaweed in there because of the yellowy olivey tone of some of the flakes. I haven't seen any reviewers call it prugly, and it was one of the top sellers at launch, which is not usually true for pruglies. So maybe it's just me, but let me know if you can see what I'm saying. As far as whether I'll be getting this one, while I do like the flakes, I'm not enjoying the base color as much. Teals and aquas are just usually not for me, even though they do tend to be pretty popular, so I'll be skipping this one. The next polish is Crashing Out. This polish has a royal blue base, iridescent flakes in the pink-purple range, and scattered holo. It's the only one that has a holographic element. I think this one is very pretty. It's also a bit darker, so kind of deep and mysterious. If the last polish was like tropical beachy water, this is more mermaid cave water. Probably my favorite color combo of the collection, so it is going on my wish list. I'm not really in any hurry to get it though. For one thing, I'm a little bit disappointed that it isn't one of the ones with reflective glitter. I like scattered holo, but it just doesn't feel as special. If it wasn't paired with polishes that do have reflective glitter, I probably wouldn't think twice about it. But since it is, that does make me hesitate a little bit. Also, Holo Taco is having a sale in April, but the most recent collections generally don't go on sale, so maybe I'll pick it up over Black Friday when it is actually discounted. Next up is Made Me Ink. I think that's a Finding Nemo reference. Holo Taco loves to make polishes that make people argue over whether they're blue or indigo or purple, and this is one of them. So was the last one, honestly, but this is the one that was discussed during the launch livestream. It has a purple-leaning indigo base, blue to teal flakes, and silver reflective glitter. I would personally say that all those elements average out to blue, like when you see this polish from a distance and everything kind of blends together. Of course, up close I can see the separate colors, but if I have to pick one color to call this polish, it's blue. Feel free to disagree with me in the comments, though. Regardless, I do think this one is very pretty. Kind of similar to the last one in some ways, but the flaky color is very different. And it is that flaky color that makes me less interested in this one, because again, those colors in the teal aqua family just really aren't my favorite, so I won't be getting this one. Now we've got Don't Be Jelly. It has a magenta purple base, and potentially the most variety in flaky color, because it has some in the teal blue range and then also some pinky purple ones. And it has pink reflective glitter. I want to take a moment to talk about reflective glitter a bit, especially for anyone who isn't familiar. Probably the most common type of glitter is those bigger hexagon-shaped ones that come in different sizes and colors and can be matte or metallic or hollow or other finishes. But reflective glitters are these really tiny triangles that you can only really see the shape of with macro photography. Like, I'm wearing some reflective glitter polishes right now, and looking at my nails, I can see the sparkle, but I can't see individual triangles. But when reflective glitters get hit with direct light, they really pop because of the way that they reflect the light. They twinkle, they glow, some might say they're kind of obnoxious with how sparkly they are. You'll see that effect most if you take a video with flash, but you also get it to an extent with overhead light and sunlight. Now, I'm showing some clips of a couple lurid lacquer polishes that I got recently, and we'll be doing a review of soon if you want to subscribe so you make sure you see that. And they have a lot of reflective glitter in them, but it seems like the Holo Taco ones don't have as much. I've seen reviews of this collection from Nicole and Polished Yogi and Nail Daddy, which is my least favorite name, but he does good reviews. And they all mentioned that especially with the polishes that say they have colorful reflective glitter, like Don't Be Jelly has pink, they were able to see a little bit of that reflective twinkle on the nail, but not the color of the glitter. It just looks like it could be the basic silver. Whereas with something like this pink polish that I'm wearing, I can totally see that the reflective glitters are pink. I think because the glitters are so small, you really need a lot of them close together to be able to identify the color. It's kind of a trade-off though, because really packing in the reflective glitters does give you more color and sparkle, but it also makes for a very textured polish, and that means you'll need a lot of top coat and removal will be more difficult. With less reflective glitter, you might just get a more subtle twinkle, but the application and removal will be smoother, so I can see a case for either style of polish, but personally, I'd rather have more glitter. Getting back to the actual polish though, I really like the flake combination in Don't Be Jelly, but I'm not loving the base color as much, so I'll be skipping it. The next polish is What a Catch. This one has a bright pink base, kind of orangey gold iridescent flakes, and green reflective glitter. If you watch Simply Not Logical content, then you might know that her nickname lately is Shrimply. I forget exactly what the origin is, but there have been a lot of shrimp puns, and they considered using one for this polish, like Shrimply the Best or the Shrimple Life, but ultimately they decided against it since it's kind of an inside joke that not everyone would get, but I think they should have gone for it. I think this one is really pretty. I love the orange-pink color combo, so I would add it to my wish list, but I feel like I already have a version of this polish with the one that I'm wearing now. It's Lurid Lacquer's February Hella Handmade Creations polish called You're Literally the Worst Person Ever, but You're Hot. So there are definitely some differences, like the flakes in the Holo Taco are bigger, and Lurid has more reflective glitter, but they're close enough that I don't need Shrimply the Best. I mean, what a catch. And last up is Big Reef Energy. That name is a choice. This is a red polish with pink and orange iridescent flakes and gold reflective glitter. I feel like the tone of red really changes based on the lighting and who's wearing it. Sometimes it's a bit more orange or more pink. I think it's pretty. Wouldn't be my first thought for an ocean collection, but it works as sea life or coral. But this is another case where I have something similar enough, Mooncat's Forces of Evil. That one does definitely lean a little bit pink, which I kind of prefer, so I'm happy to just have that one. And if you'd like to see a comparison between the two, some of the creators that I mentioned earlier have both polishes and showed them side by side. Forces of Evil isn't available anymore since it was limited edition, but if you have it and you want to decide if you need both, or if you missed it and are wondering if Big Reef Energy is a good alternative, then those could be helpful. Okay, so those are all of the polishes. I do really like them, but I don't feel like I need any of them right now. I do want to take some time to talk about the collection as a whole, the vibes, the formula, the theme, and I'll start by saying that I really wasn't expecting Holo Taco to release a collection this month. In 2023, I think they did do a release every month, but in 2024, they took some months off. There wasn't a collection in January, June, or August, and so this year, because we had the David's Tea collab in January and the Cottagecore set in February, and we know the Royalty collection will be in April, I kind of expected them to take March off. I know, at least anecdotally, that a lot of people think the monthly releases are a little too much to keep up with, especially if you're someone who usually places an order at every launch, because by the time you get your new polishes, you don't have that much time to focus on them and enjoy them before something else is launching. And I thought that Holo Taco was listening to that feedback, and that was why things were a bit more spread out last year. But now I'm not sure, and I actually wonder if Holo Taco is planning more in terms of the total number of polishes releasing over the course of the year, rather than the number of collections. Because last year had some big collections. Dark Academia was the first ever 8-piece release from Holo Taco, and it was followed by the 12-piece Birthstone collection. And because of that, 2023 and 2024 each had about the same number of new polishes, around 60, even though 2024 had fewer collections. So of course it remains to be seen what will happen in the rest of this year, but my prediction is that we're probably going to get around 60 polishes again, and it looks like collections might be smaller and more frequent than they were last year. Let me know what you think of my theory. Getting back to Off the Deep End, let's talk about this new formula. As you can maybe tell, I'm a fan of the iridescent flake and reflective glitter combo. I think my first polish in this finish was Mooncat's Velociraptor, and then I also have a couple from Cadillacquer and Lurid. I think reflective glitters work best in a jelly base. Like, I have a couple of polishes from Holo Taco that have reflective glitters, but they don't stand out very much because the base is too opaque. But I also don't love the look of polishes with only reflective glitter in a jelly base. So I think combining them with iridescent flakes creates a nice balance between those larger color shifty elements and the smaller sparkly pigment. So it's great to see this finish from Holo Taco. I'm guessing there will probably be some people who are like, oh, I don't like reflective glitters, I would prefer if it was just the iridescent flakes. And maybe also people who are like, well, why bother if you're not actually going to put in that much reflective glitter? But for me, I feel like a full collection of only iridescent flake polishes, or even flakes plus some scattered holo, would have just been a little lackluster. Not that it wouldn't have been pretty, but I feel like that slightly more simple finish works better when you have a multi-formula collection. Like with Holo Taco's first iridescent flake polish that they discontinued because people thought it looked like lunch meat. That one was part of a collection with a crushed holo and a couple shimmers and a glitter, and I think that worked well. And the Birthstone collection had a couple iridescent flake polishes that fit in nicely with all the other finishes. But with this 6-piece collection where it's all the same finish standing alone, I like that they made it a little bit more special and interesting by adding those reflective glitters to some of the polishes. It's like they weren't just being cautious and giving people the basic version to see how it would sell before they start to experiment more. They're starting with a more leveled up version, which I appreciate. Maybe the execution could have been better, but at least they tried something. As far as the color palette, I'm a little less excited about that, partly because some of the colors are pretty close to each other. Like, instead of being spread across the whole rainbow, we're just in part of it and getting those in-between shades. Not that it needed to be a whole rainbow collection, that wouldn't necessarily read ocean-themed, though I think it could, you know, fish come in a lot of different colors. But looking at the pink and the red, or the blue indigo purple polishes, I wonder if maybe we could have spread those out a little, or maybe even cut one. But I might just think that because oceany colors aren't necessarily my preferred palette. I like some of these, and I don't limit myself to only certain colors, but if we're speaking generally, I would say that I'm more often drawn to earthy colors. So here's hoping Holo Taco does more flaky sometime, and like a mossy green, and an eggplant purple, and a mustard yellow, and mahogany brown, because I'd be all over that. And then to talk about the inspiration and theme a little bit, I don't have as much to say as I did about the cottagecore collection. If you didn't see my video reacting to that, I had a lot of thoughts about whether or not the polishes fit the theme. But for this collection, the ocean theme is a lot broader, which means that a lot of different interpretations can work well. Like when Mooncat has done oceany collections, they've been more mermaid or siren focused, but Holo Taco went more with various sea creatures and things that live in there, seaweed, coral, jellyfish, and I think that's a great direction to go. Lots of options for colors. Like, I was at the Kansas City Aquarium the other day, and there were so many different brightly colored fish. I almost wish they had gone more specific with the inspiration. Like, this polish is based on the one-spot fox face, or this one is based on the tomato clownfish. I wouldn't be surprised if an indie brand has done a collection like that and really played around with fun glitter mixes, so please let me know if you know of any examples. That kind of thing might not have enough universal appeal for a bigger brand like Holo Taco, but it could still be fun. Overall though, I don't have any major complaints about the theme. I think it was executed well and in a way that feels very Holo Taco, with the punny or silly names and some of the colors that they tend to use a lot, like aquas and indigos and warm reds. So even though they were trying something new with the formula, it didn't feel like they were copying another brand or anything like that. It still felt like a Holo Taco collection. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say about the Off the Deep End collection. Thank you to everyone who's watching till the end. Let me know in the comments what you think of this collection, if you've already bought it, or if you're waiting until later, if you're just getting a couple things, or skipping it entirely. And if you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you would leave me a like, or maybe even subscribe. Thank you to everyone who has already subscribed, and I'll see you next time. Bye!